Welcome back, everyone, to yet another episode of Economic Preppers, where it's Jeff, Dylan, and Patrick like usual, but we have a special guest, the Shielded Prepper. Jesse, welcome aboard.
Hey guys, thank you so much. Excited to hang out and chat with you a bit.
Yeah, we met. I think Patrick and I happened to bump into Jesse down. It was actually up in Vancouver a couple of months ago when we first got some snow in the area. But yeah, it was great to meet him up there, and we'll have plenty to talk about. Let me share the screen and talk about his channel briefly. Jesse's on YouTube now. Jesse, how long have you had your channel?
Gosh, a week and a half before I met you guys. So let's see, mid-January, I suppose. So have we crossed 3 months yet? Not even quite. Right at coming up on 3 months.
Yeah, so definitely go out and just search the Shielded Prepper. We'll put the link in the description. Give Jesse a follow and a like and check him out. But he's got
lots. If you can't find it under the Shielded Prepper, you type in handsome plus humble plus little chubby, and it'll come up.
Don't forget modest too. Gotta get it all in there.
Use your fingers like this.
All right, guys, I'm going to just jump right in because there's so much to cover like usual. I think the news cycle gets faster and faster every week. We had plenty to talk about, but there's even more. We get a brand new breaking story that came out today. We won't go into the legal stuff, the politics stuff, but it's definitely something we're talking about, which and I think the Wall Street Journal couldn't wait to hit the send button on this, but New York has finally indicted former President Trump over the allegation that's 5 years old that most people are saying that this is incredible anymore. But guys, what is Patrick? What's your take on this? What do you think the implications of this particular thing is going to be?
I mean, he's like the first president to really face charges, I guess. So I don't really have a whole lot of history to back this off of, but I mean, you guys know how I feel about this. Anyone who's heard me speak about this, to me, like, this is straight up nothing new, right? The idea that they're going to put stuff in our face that is distracting us from what's really important. I think that's what's really happening here. I don't think that this news is really anything to be concerned about. I think President Trump has got a good legal team, and I think that there's no merit to this case. So it'll be pretty funny to see the distraction happen. And the question is, what's going to be happening behind the scenes while this is going on?
Yep,
absolutely. Dylan, what's your take on it?
It just seems like they're doing something now to either Trump's team is allowing it to happen to give him attention and notoriety. No press is bad press, so it could be a strategic move on his part. Or it's another strategic move by the opposition to him to just do everything they can to keep him from running, to keep him from getting any sort of positive momentum. So I could see it being both of those things, a combination, one or the other. But I'm kind of tired of hearing about these old stories. I thought that was over and done with, and then now, of course, it's not. Right?
Isn't that interesting? How we're kind of done with it. When we first experienced this, it was so interesting because it was outside of the norm. And during his presidency, it was almost like constantly uncomfortable with information. And now we find ourselves, we're seeing the same similar type of information come, and we're like, already checked out. We're like, they're just getting ready to prime the pump. They're going to play this game again, and it's played out. That's how I see it.
I agree with all you guys. I think that this is another attempt to fill the news cycle and to get other stories off of page one at the top of the news. This will be now like the one that everybody's talking about for a little while, kind of like that. What was the document like for a couple of years? We were waiting for the Mueller report. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like that. They waited that for 3 years, and they're like, not much of anything. But now
they've done it. Letting it out right now. What's in front of it? What are they distracting us from?
Well, I think they're also set what Patrick's point I'm going to pick up on as well, that this is now setting a precedent. We've never had a former leader of the U.S. indicted for a legal charge. Mm-hmm. So could this be the precedent that's used for other presidents or ex-presidents, former presidents later on down the line? That's something to think about and consider as well, because quite often these things that wind up going after number 45, it slides off of him and it sticks to somebody else. So we'll see how it plays out. But that's just the first story today. I mean, we are the Economic Preppers. We are talking about everything. We got so much news to talk about. What were the other stories that we want to see? We got one. Well, let's give equal time and equal billing here. Jesse, I think you actually brought this story to our attention, which is the current resident of the 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue having
Yes, I
more
love Joe
faculty issues.
Biden. Oh, I love talking about Joe Biden and ice cream and.
I sent this over. It just came out, and when I see this, truthfully, there's part of it that makes me smile a bit. Yet there's part of it that really sucks, because if the roles were turned and that was Donald Trump in that picture, and we knew that there was something cognitively wrong with the president, even the one that we may have chose over the other, I would be really disappointed if they were running Trump like they're running Biden right now. Something's up, and every time I see this, it doesn't surprise me. It just makes him look foolish. And this is our president right now.
Dylan?
Yeah, I agree. It's not a good look. And, I see it as more of a symptom of a broken system.
Yeah.
Where there's so much momentum to put these career politicians that are, everyone knows there's corruption there, there's incompetence there. Like, these guys are ancient. To put them in the positions of power, like we keep seeing it. We'll talk about a couple of our stories highlighting these same type of people. And the everyday person, I think, is over it. But yet the system, the dynamics at play still are putting these people in front of us to vote for, when it really should be a new group of people. And this is what happens, right? If something's wrong with the president, that's not good for any of us. It's not good for him as a person. It's not a good look for us as a country. There's just a lot of things that is not fun about seeing this story.
Dude, my son is a year and a half old. Like, he'll be 2 years old this next month. Okay. You are talking to the president of the United States of America in the same way you would talk to my baby boy. Hey, Grayson, I want you to walk over there and stand on the blue X. Blue X. And, then he'll look and go, blue. And then he goes to stand on the blue X. I'm there. Oh, they're union workers. Can you say union workers, Grayson? Blue X, union workers. It's like, this guy is being treated like a child. Being a child is even giving it too much credit. Like, he can't even figure out how to walk on the straight concrete. He goes in the middle of the lawn.
Yeah, don't ask him to go upstairs, especially towards a plane. That's not a good idea either. So, or ride a bicycle. We got plenty of.
Jeff, if I could jump in and just share this
Sure.
with you. And when I saw this, it triggered this thought. Before we hopped on the show, we were kind of talking before we went live. And I was sharing with you how we're reading this book right here, 4 Centuries of American Education, David Barton, really great read. And there's this quote by the founding the founding president of Princeton. And he said that the philosophy of the schoolroom in one generation will be the philosophy of the government in the next. This president is a byproduct of our educational system and how our country is starting to lean. And seeing this president right now, I see our education system a generation ago.
Well, that's a really interesting take, and we could go on that tangent for a while. I was watching Tucker Carlson the other night, and they had a student that had just graduated from, I think it was from George Mason or George Washington, and he just talked about what it was like to be graduate. He was graduating in 2020. I think that's when the universities were pushing things out, and he just said, like, it was just insanity of trying to get through the system from the university. And then he went on to say, like, look, these people these are going to be your future lawyers, judges, lead officials, politicians that are going to be coming out of these prestigious universities, and they all have this mentality now of just pushing things through mandates and such. It's just insanity that's going to proliferate for a generation. And I think it was might have been Reagan that said that we're 2 generations away at any given time from losing our freedom, because and that's kind of where we're at. Like, it goes back to the fourth turning and all these different books that we talk about. And I need to work on that Amazon store and get all these references up there. But I mean, there's a lot of things that, like, these generational effects really do matter. Like, look at what millennials are like compared to people from 40 plus. It is night and day.
Jesse, I think you said it really well. Boondocks actually said it better. They said evil thrives at the indifference of good men. But what you said yesterday, or maybe the day before on your show, was something like training up your child in the way they should go. Because the idea is like it's our responsibility if we understand that this is the future. And I finally get it. Like I remember growing up as a kid, they are our future. This is the future. Like, okay, now I get it. They are our future. Like, what are we doing to teach our kids how to survive and thrive and lead in this new world coming? And it's kind of a scary situation when I think about like who's out there. There you go. There's one of them.
There's one of them.
Come on, you could have come said hi. I'm all
one
for
of
it.
them. I've been one of
appearances.
one of the dogs, or it's gonna be one of the kids.
Okay, but wait. Man, I was really excited. I would have said hi to him because we were just talking about how important they are. And then he like literally comes in. That was the spot to intro him to the world. Anyways, but you know, that's the kind of thing you think about is our world is really screwed up. And the things that they're trying to pass off as like truth when it's clearly a lie, whether it's the president of the United States and what he's actually doing in benefit of our country or what's happening globally, we see that there is untruth all around us, and it's our job to help our kids navigate. Like,
and
no,
why
son,
your
that's
show
not
is what
true.
it is. Patrick, you guys are doing this right now, and I listen to the topics when I watch your shows, and why it's important to continue doing what you're doing. You're revealing these in new and interesting ways, because the more we talk about these issues, the more folks we're recruiting, and we're encouraging them and opening their eyes, because there's so many categories of being prepared, and being economically aware of what's going on kind of starts everything. It starts everything.
Yeah, it all ties together. It all like follow the money. It always ties everything together. But a couple of years ago when they separated all of us and we had all the stay at home here, that one of the reasons you could make an argument that one of the reasons that they did it was to prevent conversations like this and for us to think about, because this is exactly like guys gathering around and talking about what's going on in the world. This is how things get done. This is how this is the community part, which is a major component of everything we do, right along talking about the financials, yes, and our next generation, but the community part, just your impact in your local community, and whether you're preparing, gathering silver or gold, or stacking cash, or stacking milk or eggs or chicken or whatever, having that preparedness and knowing, like, you know, Patrick's got this and Dylan's got that and Jesse's got this. That matters. It's going to matter more and more as we progress down this road, which seems inevitable.